it's Lianna Walden. I'm a sex and relationship coach and healer, and I am on a mission to transform the energy of fear and shame around sexuality into love and pleasure. So I want to talk today a little bit about that fear and how we live so heavily in fear. Fear of what? Of many things. We all have layers and layers of fear. Fear of living, fear of the possibilities, fear of what you can and cannot do, fear of walking on the streets at night, fear of traveling, fear of other people attacking you, fear of men, fear of sex, of all the different aspects around sex. So why do we live in these fears? We live in these fears because of the beliefs that we grow up with. There are many fears around that we are taught as we grow up. There are fears in media. There are fears coming from politics. There are fears coming from other people. Fears coming through our education. Fear is a form of controlling what people believe, and we want to keep people in the negative because then we can, there's a certain amount of control that can start. I don't know. Fear. It creates this control. It creates this ability to to bring people into a smaller space of thinking. So it's easier to have people believe certain things if you create a certain kind of fear. It limits the possibilities. So we want to let those fears go. We want to work on letting all of our fears go, one by one, step by step. That's the work, letting go of your fear. How do you know what you fear? You know by what you say and what you do and how you live your life. You can see them and hear them and feel them all the time in your day. I pick up my fears. I pick up fears from other people. And I have to be careful to say, okay, that's their fear. That's the reality that they live. This is not the reality that I live. This fear does not exist for me. Now, not that kind of activity doesn't exist somewhere in the world for somebody, for some people, but for me, it is not part of my reality. If you believe that your reality is what you create, I create my own reality. I create my reality, and I believe that very strongly. And that doesn't mean I just create my reality here or right here. I create all of my reality. Therefore, I create the kinds of things that I believe and say and the kind of thoughts that I have. And I don't want fear in my life. I don't want to have fear in my life. With fear, I'm restricted. I'm held back. I'm restricted from seeing what other possibilities there are for me. I'm restricted from living my freaking life. I'm restricted if I have these fears. So now what about the fear around sexuality? Huge fear around sexuality. Huge fear. And I want to talk about one thing. Herpes, which has now spread, or we have found that it exists within over half the population. And it's still considered an infection. Yes, there's ways of monitoring it and keeping it at bay, and then administering it when you have it, when you are in an outbreak situation. But it doesn't mean that it's the end of your life. And what has been created around herpes is that if you have it, then, oh my God, I will never be able to have sex again. It's going to change my whole life. I don't know what I'm going to do anymore. My whole life is ruined now that I have herpes or I've contracted herpes. But let's look at it like this, because this is a massive fear that's been created around sex. Let's look at it like, okay, we get sores on our bodies for various reasons, and usually we get sores popping out on our bodies because of various fears that are happening or that are existing internally. But what if, herpes is, we get a little sore on your vagina or on your penis. We get a little sore. And I would say look at where that's coming from in a deeper way within your own thought process. And that little sore is a little sore that eventually heals and goes away. It doesn't mean that your life is over. It doesn't mean that your sex life is finished. It doesn't mean that you will never be able to enjoy and have pleasure again. Just because I have a little sore on my lip, because I have a little sore on my arm, because I get a little sore on my neck, doesn't mean my life is over, that I can't have sex, that I can't do the things that I really want to do. I can heal myself. If I look at it like it's not a fearful thing, but it's actually a message telling me that, hey, you have something that's not sitting right here, that's a little bit off within what you feel, and we need to look at this, and it's some kind of fear that you have that physically it's manifesting now in your body. And before you actually start manifesting it in your life in a big way, look at it, stop it, say, okay, there's nothing to fear here. There is nothing to fear. This is a little sore. It will go away. I will be fine. I will be able to, I am just, you need to heal myself. I need to spend some time healing and shifting and transitioning into a more loving place for myself, into loving myself more. Okay? Check out, please like my video, please subscribe to my video. I would love to hear from you. Comment below. I have some workshops. I have a retreat in Brazil coming up. Sign up for my newsletter and join me in transforming the world into more love and pleasure. Much love making.